I came across this neat story while writing my book. It's been retold so many different times. I don't even know who had the original story, but I really liked how it tied into the verse from Psalm 90, specifically verse 17, where Moses says, "Let the favor of the Lord of our God be upon us and establish the work of our hands." So there was this story about years ago, like centuries ago. There was this cathedral being built, and this man walked around the building site and asked a bricklayer, like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm a bricklayer. I'm laying bricks." And he went a little further and he found a carpenter. And he asked the carpenter, "Well, what are you up to? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a carpenter. I'm working with wood." And then he came along a little further and he saw this woman who was sweeping. She was cleaning up the floor, picking up debris, kind of the background. Someone that you wouldn't ever notice once the cathedral was built. You wouldn't even know that she had been there. And he asked her, "Well, what are you doing?" And she said, "I'm building a cathedral." I loved that story because how often in our own lives do we devalue what we do? Unless we are big and important at a company or we are known for what we are doing, often we are just, "Well, I'm just a carpenter," or "I'm just a bricklayer," or I don't know, "I'm just a stay-at-home mom," or "I'm just a secretary." Those are some of the different titles. Those last two have been ones that I've even used on myself. But in reality, we maybe aren't building a cathedral, but we can be helping build God's kingdom. We are kingdom builders. So when we look at our work as that, if we change our perspective and we think of it as a way of furthering God's kingdom and being a kingdom builder, that can change how we put ourselves into our work. It can turn something from mundane and everyday, and maybe it still is that, but we know that it has a larger purpose than just this one thing that we're doing at this moment. So that prayer that Moses has is that establish the work that we've done. That can be a prayer that we could go into our day when we feel like it's just dragging, it's just the same thing over and over, that we can pray like Moses did to establish the work of our hands for his glory, for God's glory.